This is a response to Anna K's question in class because she was asking about having an enumerated thesis and how that would actually work with the one paragraph requirement for the first essay. Now, when we're looking at the rubric here, this section, essays first rubric, it changes as you see the second, and then by the time we get to the third, if two supporting paragraphs, then this needs two specific arguments mentioned. If three, then use the rule of 3 for 3. So what exactly does that mean? So here's the issue that she was bringing up, and I just copied that section here. For the first essay, first marking period, we are writing the one thesis, and then you have a one supporting paragraph with 3 minimum sources. And I'm looking for a enumerated thesis. I'm looking for 3 issues for you to address. Ideally, in a 5-paragraph essay, we'd have the opening, 1, 2, 3, and then the closing. We would have 3 body paragraphs of support, and each item would be addressed in the thesis, points 1, 2, and 3, and then those would be addressed in the body paragraphs. So her question was really about, well, I'm a little confused because for this essay it's just 1, so do we need to have 3 points that we're arguing? So the directions up here address that. So I just wanted to do this to clarify. So here's my thesis that I came up with, Berlin Conference primary long-term cause for World War I. So this is suggesting it's a long-term cause, but notice the use of the word primary. Now I'm kind of locking myself into a box and I'm saying this is the only particular cause. And so my evidence, establishment of European alliances, an arms race, and a competitive race for empire. And these items are addressed in supporting paragraph over here. So for the first essay, her question was, do I have to have 3 points? And I would say no, but possibly yes. I mean, it kind of depends on the situation. Ideally, I would like to have 3 points in that thesis, but I can understand students having some confusion. So I'll accept either or, but keep in mind, you have to be clear and follow the essay rubric guidelines, which are outlined here as well as in the rubric packet. So I just kind of gave an example of both. So in this case, this one, let's go back here. Let's go down. So I'll go to this section. Essay 1 requires 1 supporting paragraph. So what does that mean? That means the first essay we're writing for marking period 1 is going to be one supporting paragraph. By second marking period, I would like to have 2, and third marking period, I'd like to have 3, and then fourth marking period, we would have 5 paragraphs with the opening, the closing, and then 3 supporting paragraphs. But we're going to work toward that. So to answer her question, I would accept either or for this one. If you want to work to improve your enumerated thesis using the 3 points, you can do this. And look at what I did here. So I took the same one, but I just cut out 2 of the points. The Berlin Conference was a primary long-term cause for World War I because the aftermath of the conference led to the establishment of European alliances. So I just took this thesis that is arguing 3 points, point 1, point 2, and point 3, and then I just cut out this one and this one. So that would be allowed for the first essay, but you want to make sure that you understand, like, I'm only allowing this because it's a building process. Hopefully by the time we get to the second or third marking period, we can add on. So I guess I'll accept either or, but I wanted to come up with this screencast here just to give you an example of what that would look like. So again, like the structure with the essay, we're arguing. So here I broke down those points, point 1, point 2, point 3, and then each point would be addressed in a supporting paragraph. And notice the evidence here that I'm using, the Triple Entente and the Triple Alliance, which are 2 primary source documents that talk specifically about alliances. And then I probably would also use a JSTOR source or something like that from a book. And then the arms race, if I could find some data, I could possibly even use the Triple Alliance and double up on that source. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. But again, for the first essay, we're looking for a thesis, 1 sentence, and 1 supporting paragraph with 3 sources. Your 3 sources have to clearly support the thesis. If they don't, I will not count them. Let's say, for example, in your thesis, you are writing about women during World War I, and then your first source is about women during the Civil War, and then source 2 and 3 is about women in World War I. I will count this one correct, assuming that, the points made, address and link up with the thesis. But this one I'm not going to count. So you are going to get a deduction, possibly a full deduction. Now, for flow, essay flow, you can include that, but then you better give me a fourth source addressing your thesis here. So everybody has a different style of writing, and some people are just better at writing a narrative type style of history writing, and so they're kind of you know giving us the historic context. They're talking about women during the Civil War. They're talking about maybe even women during the American Revolution, and then they transition to women during World War One. But if they included a source here and a source here, then a source here, and they only use these three, well, this one is about the American Revolution. It doesn't work for that thesis. Neither does this one. You told me in your thesis you're writing about World War One, so I will only count this. But I understand some students possibly will include, more than three sources for various reasons.